We're going to start off with the Falcons. If you're listening to the playback, Falcons are going to have their own segment along with the mic check, the Hawks. But if you're here live, let's talk about it. The Falcons took over New Orleans. At least we're not the Saints or the Aints or the Taints, whatever you want to call them. And we beat the Saints pretty handily from the very beginning and won all the way through, which was to be expected. I think the Saints are like 1-8,
Terrible.
2-9, something like that. Although they did just beat Carolina and did us a solid. So there's a lot of things about this game that we need to discuss. Kirk Cousins started. No Drake London. And
No
yet
Penix. No Kyle Penix.
No Michael Penix. And we still ended up winning this game. Kirk Cousins had a fantastic performance. He started off a little iffy, and then he got settled in. And let me tell you, if there's anybody that can show me something different, I will go to my grave thinking that an Achilles injury is about 12 to 18 months. Because he looked way more mobile. He looked great running the play action. Let me tell you, and I don't know if you were watching the game. I think you missed the game because you were asking for updates, and I was kind of giving you updates as I was talking. Zach Robinson's play calling was actually pretty good. We actually ran the ball and ran play action pass and lined up under center and pretty much all but abandoned the pistol. The offensive scheme looked 1,000 times better. It looked great. What's concerning is why in the hell didn't we do this with Penix? Raheem says Penix was not comfortable, is what it's starting to say now.
Well, there are a couple things. I've done a lot of research. I've read a lot of things. This thing has really bothered the absolute hell out of me. Y'all know I basically tell Reggie, like, first drive, me and him, are we in the pistol? If the answer is yes, then we're committed to losing. Now, after doing the in-depth research, the first part they say, and some of this is excuses and bullshit. Some of this I believe to be reasonably true. They say that Elijah Wilkinson, they did not trust. And due to the fact that Penix is left-handed, he's the guy protecting his blind side. So instead of putting him under center and potentially getting crushed, they put him in the pistol. Now, I don't like that because you got to figure something else out. So the reason that they were able to go to under the center is the blind side protection was shifted back to Jake Matthews, a guy they trust infinitely more. I don't know exactly how I feel about that, but the other part that I think is they could have still, even if you believe the pistol was the best way to go about it at this point with the personnel that you were provided, you could have been coaching him up to be a quarterback to play under center. So if he didn't start the season in a position to play under center, you got some time to coach him into a space where he can be. Give him 3 or 4 plays the first game where he's under center, 6 to 7 plays, 10 to 15 plays, so that we could actually make this offense into what we believed that it was supposed to be. So I give them a little credit. That part does make sense. But overall, still Raheem and still Zach, y'all mismanaged this. You just didn't do a good job.
And Terry. And to add to that, the offensive performance was so good. Darnell Mooney looked like a totally different person. Bijan Robinson, they actually used in a more of a capacity that we would have liked, where they got him in the run game, but also in the passing game. They use Algier a little bit more. Everything that we asked for them to do, they attempted. I'm not gonna say they use Algier enough, but they attempted.
Too little, too late for me though. I'm almost doesn't count. I don't want to hear that
Why?
bullshit.
Why would you wait till you were on a 5-game losing streak to decide to, even if you have Elijah Wilkinson, you've got to try something else? That tells me that they didn't even practice Penix under center.
Nope.
Is what that tells me. And another thing that I noticed, and I knew Mooney was going to have a pretty good game because Mooney has rapport with Kirk. But another thing I noticed is Zach Robinson and Kirk were having discussions on the sideline, like going through the iPad and talking about that. What
I
they
would
see and
rather
everything.
Kirk Cousins be the offensive coordinator than Zach Robinson. 100%.
I did notice that we still were having issues getting the play call in. So we still were
Embarrassing.
hiking the ball with 5 seconds, 4-3-2.
Fucking embarrassing between you have a offensive coordinator and a veteran quarterback. If Kirk can't do it, it's no way you can ask Michael Penix to do it. It's no way.
Yeah. And the offense we were out there with David Sills the fourth, Drummond, who elevated from the practice squad, and Darnell Mooney and Kyle Pitts.
Nobody's playing nobody's.
Kyle Pitts still. I mean, Kyle, it seemed like every time I try to say something good, we should keep you, bro. You had 3 more drops. You had 3 more money bags that you dropped. Like, yeah, a couple big games, but I mean, he's so
low intensity, low focus, low motor, and on top of that, he does not block. I'm a Gator fan. I've moved on from him in my heart and soul. You can't trick me repeatedly. Once I got it, bro, I'm not doing it. You're not finna put me in this situation to let me down. This team already does that. I'm not letting you do that as well. At some point, I have my own personal self-respect, and that's what I'm going to take.
Yeah. Now, we were bit by the injury bug a little bit. We got Bergeron back, and then he re-aggravated his ankle injury. As far as I know, he's still going to be day-to-day for that. I think it was...
Hell, I'm day-to-day. I'm day-to-day with these...
a high ankle sprain. But, man, this offense looks... Imagine... We did all of that. Now, again, I must say we are playing the Saints. And
yes.
The Saints are awful.
What we're not going to do is we're not going to be the Cleveland Browns. We're not going to play a team that's terrible and then suddenly believe that our team is something that it's not. We're not going to do that.
Yeah. But something that it is, though, man, the defense is still amazing. We beat up, and the defense beats up on teams that we're supposed to beat up, which is we always say that's the first thing and sign of a good team or a team that's progressing is winning the games you're supposed to. We did come in with some injuries on the defensive side. We got good news and bad news. Billy Bowman, torn Achilles. Starting nickelback, out for the season, probably out, as I told you, with Kirk, with the Achilles. It's a 12 to 18 month recovery time for you to be fully healthy. That's unfortunate. Divine Deablo does return along with Alford. And let me tell you, Divine Alford had game. Well, really, we've seen Divine. Alford had game of the year. As you see, he's front and center on the graphic. He played slot, outside corner. They played Kobe Bryant at outside corner.
10 tackles, 9 solo, 1 pass deflection.
And it wasn't them Alford tackles in the past either, where it's a tackle 30 yards downfield. Nah, he stopped players on 3rd and 1. He was blitzing. He had a fumble recovery. He played out of his mind. And if Billy Bowman could come back healthy, I think our secondary all the way to the dime formation is set. Mike Hughes, fantastic game. Fantastic game.
Excuse me?
Mike
Say
Hughes
what?
had a fantastic game. AJ Terrell, fantastic game. And of course, the rookies on defense, just Jalen and JPJ, another 2.5 sacks between them. One for JPJ, 1.5 for JPJ, James Pierce Jr., one for Jalen. Xavier Watts had the interception. Ruke got a sack. Brandon Dorlus got another sack and a half. We played Kaden Ellis. They figured out to just put Kaden Ellis in the flat or have him run at the quarterback. Don't put him in the middle of the field no more.
Not put him around Ted McMillan, boy. Ted McMillan, man.
No. And they didn't. And Ronnie Harrison got to shout you out. You may be the opposite linebacker of Divine Deablo. We didn't see a JD Bergeron anywhere. I don't even know if the Bergeron was in the stadium. But we didn't see him on the field at all. And the defense looked better. Jesse Bates played like the free safety he's supposed to be. It was,
and that's the thing
really
that I've actually heard about Jesse Bates, and the reason that he hasn't had the season that we're so used to is he's coaching rookies right now. He's coaching Xavier Watts, and he's coaching Billy Bowman, and trying to be the safety at the same time. And I could see how that could put you in a position where you're trying to do too many things at one time, and you can't be the best version of yourself. I do want to go ahead and say this now to all you idiots that get on the internet with your microphones and your uninformed ideas. Everybody who's like, oh, well, the Falcons don't have a first-round draft pick this year. Don't matter. Because if you can tell me I can get Jalen Walker and James Pierce Jr. a year early, I want it. And I do it again. And if I remember correctly, aren't didn't that trade help us get either Xavier Watts or Billy Bowman?
We did another trade for Billy Bowman, but yeah, we set it up, yeah.
So
no, Xavier Watts. We got Billy Bowman. Billy Bowman we got right.
That people forget context. They just everybody says, oh, well, you don't have a first round pick. Don't care. Those guys, that pass rush is our future.
Second in sacks in the league, bro.
And that's just not something that you associate with the Atlanta Falcons ever. Oh, y'all did what? As a team, y'all had a pass rush and y'all like tackled the quarterback. When y'all start doing that? So,
and we had a lot of pressures too. I think we had like 20 pressures. We had 5 sacks and 20 pressures. Tyler Show was back there. They showed the slow motion when he got sacked, and somebody used the back of your head to stand up. They did that there.
That is one of the most demoralizing things that a human can do. Is like when you're face down and they kind of get up first and they push the back of your helmet where it goes. This is probably not as bad because it's like that turfy grass, but back in the day, it used to be in like real dirt. And you got the dirt clawed in your face, somebody stepping on your face. You're like, oh Lord, and they're kicking our ass. But yes, when it comes to sacks, I want to say that we're third, and the team in front of us is Cleveland. And Cleveland had 10 sacks this week.
And 77 of them came from Myles Garrett.
Right. So
they got the human cheat code. I'm not hating because Myles Garrett is amazing.
Right.
But for us,
Denver has 49 sacks. Cleveland went into the weekend with 32 sacks, ended the weekend with 42 sacks, and then we got 39. But y'all know that real Falcons fans know what that means. That is, I don't have a gripe with that. I don't have an answer for that. We have 39 sacks. We almost have 49ers have 12 sacks. Bengals have 15. Panthers have 16. The Ravens have 18 sacks. Man, the Eagles 22 sacks. We have damn near double.
Yeah, and guess what? We may have a kicker. Zane Gonzalez hit a 56-yard, 54-yard
I ain't
field
get my
goal.
hopes up. I've been
Hey
hurt too
man,
many
he
times.
he looks like a kicker, and this is why I say we may have a kicker. He's got OCD. He has to have everything the same at all times. He keeps messing with his hair till it's right.
I know
Kind of
exactly
like
what
Nomar
guy.
Garcia Parra.
I will say, as I've seen him do this before, the first time I saw it, I ain't gonna lie, I was scared. I was like, bro, it's tripping. You know, it's the same way that I saw Embiid's Bell's palsy, and I'm like, am I the only person seeing this? I know I can't. I got eyes. Y'all not looking. Nobody gonna say nothing. And then the next week on Twitter, they're like, oh, well, he has obsessive compulsive disorder. So, but shout out to people beating their disability. Hey, and if you want to come here and be an obsessive kicker, I'm cool with it.
56 yards, and I mean he could have hit it from 62. Now I'm gonna end this segment before we move on. I have a few. I'm going
Hope dealer. There he is. Hope dealer. Hope, go ahead, man.
Is it possible with the Falcons schedule? So the Falcons play the Bucks again. We don't play the Panthers anymore. Our two toughest games, of course, are going to be the Rams and the Seahawks. Then we play like the Jets, the Cardinals, and I can't remember who else we played. The Saints again.
Wait, hold on. Let me help you out. So this week we play the Jets.
0-11.
Yes. Then we play the Seahawks. Play the Buccaneers on December 11th. Play the Cardinals, Rams, and Saints.
We could do so. The reason I said all of that, it's possible that Kirk Cousins comes in and saves everybody's job. Because if you win the games you're supposed to win and steal one from Seattle or the Rams, which I don't know if that's going to happen against the Rams, but steal one against Seattle or the Rams, all of a sudden you are in the thick of things for the division. Now it's either win the division or go home. You've lost literally every other tiebreaker there is to possibly lose to get a wild card.
It's over, brother. It's over.
But Kirk Cousins could save everybody's job. And also, well, I have another point, but that was the first one. You think Kirk Cousins can do it? I think Kirk is going to end up auditioning for being the starting quarterback for next year.
And he'll probably be back, to be completely honest. But they play the Buccaneers are going to play the Cardinals. They're going to beat the Cardinals. They're going to play the Saints. They're going to beat the Saints. They will play us again. Maybe we can steal it. Then they play the Panthers 2 times and the Dolphins once. They're probably going to win those last 3 games. I don't think that there's a realistic road.
Last 3 games makes them 9. So here's what I say. Baker Mayfield's hurt, but we'll get there.
Yes. Let's go ahead and update him now. Sprained AC joint is left shoulder. There's no fracture, no structural damage. One source says Buccaneers are not ruling out him playing this Sunday, which I think is probably relatively short-sighted. You could probably let Teddy Bridgewater go out there against Jacoby Brissett. I'm not doing that.
That Cardinals defense ain't bad. It ain't good, but it ain't bad. You're gonna have to score some points. But so even with Kirk, my second point is the Falcons kind of lucked up a little bit. And follow me when I say this, because I know y'all
follow me.
Y'all gonna be like, no, you don't know what you're talking about. Listen, if Penix really can't line up under the center, then he's gonna need a year to figure out how to do that. What if you keep Zach Robinson, or if you bring in a Shanahan disciple or a McVay disciple? That's where everybody come from. Shanahan and McVay tree or philosophy. You're gonna have to be able to run play action pass from under the center. So with Kirk Cousins, Penix essentially is going to be out for at least 9 to 10 months. That's out till September, October, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, August, September, in that area. You may luck up, and if Kirk plays well enough to start, you may luck up and get Kirk to start next year and have Penix on the bench, and you would have gone around the world to do exactly what you thought you were going to do when you did this entire thing
I've
of
been around.
of signing Kirk and then drafting Michael Penix, right? Your goal was to play Kirk and then his last season, let him go somewhere or cut him because he doesn't have as much guaranteed money, and then bring along Michael Penix, who then understands the offense and knows how to play. You now have an opportunity to salvage that plan. Unfortunately, at the hurting of Michael Penix, but I still have seen him be pretty good. And if what they say is true about the right tackle, you have a chance to then go buy or draft for 2 or 3 tackles. So, I mean, at this point, it is possible for this to work out. Will we make the playoffs? I don't think so. But I think Kirk is going to play just well enough that everybody gets another year.
I'm not doing
I know
this.
Falcons fans are going to be pissed.
No, I'm not putting myself through the misery of doing the same thing and expecting a different result. Fire Zach, fire Raheem. I don't care if you even fire, trade Kirk. We need to go in a different direction. If we do this again, I don't know what else to expect other than the same thing. And the fact that we would not get out of the pistol, we could not, even if the whole situation I gave y'all, if we can't solve that problem in an entire football season, this is not the group of people I want running my team. Fair. You can't solve one problem.
What's crazy is with the Falcons,